Hi everyone, Zoe here. Now for today's video, I'm going to be looking at the December 2017 Apocabox. Apocabox is a subscription service aimed at bushcrafting and survival gear. And because of UK customs, I don't actually get mine until January, the month after. But if you want any of the prices, rather than me repeat them on here, because I mentioned it in previous videos about Apocaboxes, I'll put them in the video description. But the theme for this one is tools and tool maintenance. So let's see what we got. So what have we got in the December 2017 tool and tool maintenance Apocabox? Well, as ever, we've got a contents list, which I should be referring to. Now, the first thing we've got is a tool maintenance mat. So you can stick it on your workbench and not scratch it or indeed scuff up any of your tools. Let's just have a gander at this. Take it out, it's lovely noisy packaging. There we go. Essentially got the feel of a gigantic mouse mat, and as you can see there's different blade types depicted on it, so it's also a bit of a learning tool, that sort of thing. Next we have a morale patch from 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. I shall read it out in my worst Bill and Ted impression ever. I don't know what we're waiting for, it's not that good an impression. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's the best accent I can do. There you go, interesting little morale patch.
Which was true in my time, just as it's true today.
We have a 2-stage buffalo bone whistle. Don't know if you can quite tell, but there's a lanyard hole there as well. Camera going to focus on that? There you go, you can just see through it. So, should we test this out? We've had a few things made out of buffalo bone in the past. This was the feather that was in one of the previous ones. So, interesting. One more time. See if I get the angle right this time. Doesn't like that one, does it? Ah, there's a bit of fluff inside it. That might be stopping it. Either that or it's a P type whistle, but I shall have to get that out. And that's the possible bit of showing you guys what I'm on about. See this there? So that works, but I'll have to get whatever that is out of it after I've kicked the tripod. Next thing we've got is one of these cheapy pocket field sharpeners. Not one by any of the reputable brands, it's a no-name version, but it's still got a ceramic rod. It's got a nice bit of ergonomics as well for my thumb to go onto. So we've got a ceramic rod, and we've also got a carbide and a ceramic sharpening surfaces. So not adjustable, so you're going to get whatever the default blade angle is despite whatever blade you're using, but still, nice little thing to have. Back onto more blade sharpeners, I'm seeing a theme forming. This is the rock and roll field sharpener, which looks like 2 bottle tops screwed together, but there's a abrasive surface in there, and the idea, what I can gather, is you put your knife in on a surface and you push and pull to sharpen it, and as it does, it rolls with the resistance of where your knife goes. Interesting little idea. Next thing we get apparently is a spanking paddle, but it's actually a 2-sided leather and wood strop, and there's also some diamond paste in there, which a stropping is usually your last stage of sharpening a blade. It actually reshapes the edge of the blade on a microscopic level. so quite useful. If you've ever seen the hole with a straight razor, exactly the same principle. Next thing we have is a gigantic pencil case, field tool maintenance kit with the Apocabox logo. It's a zip closure, nothing special about it, but it's bright red so you can see it in your kit bag, and presumably it's got enough room to fit all the tools in, although I imagine spanking paddle is going to be a bit of a tight one. Now for the real meat and potatoes. We have one final tool. This is a 4-stage rasp. It's definitely got some weight to it, but you can see there's quite an abrasive surface there compared to a more fine one there. And yeah, just going around it, there's different types of abrasiveness. And presumably that's going to be involved in this. This is our skills challenge for the month. Now every other month even, because it's bi-monthly box. Every other month we have a skills challenge, and it's basically something to do in the off month between boxes. And this one is essentially making your own knife. I'm not sure if this type of knife has a name that they've given it, because we've had the whiskey burr in previous boxes and a few different ones, but no, according to the page, it is literally just the Apocabox knife kit challenge. So there's a good image of what presumably the final product is going to end up looking like. There's a page of instructions, a riveted but not formed Kydex sheath that will require some heat treatment, a couple of birch blade blanks, which are not a bad comparison to each other, although they don't mar up perfectly. And you can see that bottom edge is much more pronounced on one of them than the other. And of course a blade blank. Now, this is not a bad size blade, it's quite chunky for bushcrafting purposes. It's got some jimping on the rear and a basic profile, although it is completely blunt, and obviously some handle holes. So the skills challenge for this month is to take this and the enclosed fasteners and make our own knife. Obviously we have to clean it up to get the bluish scale off there, and it is high carbon steel. Now, I'm no stranger to making knives. I've made about 3 since I started doing this. The first one you saw a brief glimpse of earlier. This was essentially already a knife. It was a fish filleting knife that I cut down the handle to make it into a rat tail tang and heat pressed it into basically a stick, and then applied some epoxy, and it became my go-to woodworking knife. That was my second attempt at a knife. My first attempt was this one. This was part of a 24-hour Pixies, which is one of my ex-girlfriends, zombie survival challenge. Basically, we're given 24 hours and some random assortment of things to make a zombie survival tool. If I remember rightly, there was a patio cleaning tool, some wire, and a hand fork / trowel. And I made a trident and this. All I did was grind off the edge of the patio cleaning tool. As you can see, it's only a single bevel. I blacked it, sharpened it, and then did a very basic paracord wrap on the existing handle. But that was my first attempt at making a knife in 24 hours. The sheath is literally just epoxy, removing some stitching, and that came from the back of a Converse shoe. And a pen and a ferro rod blank made it into a bit more of a unit. So that was the first one I made. There was also another, and I called this one Sweet Revenge. I haven't got that on me today because that was actually a wedding gift. It was a stainless steel blade blank in a kitchen knife shape. I added mother of pearl handles, some PVC bolts going through it, or pins, sorry. I gun blued and bleached a marbled pattern on it, and also gun blue bleach engraved the bride and groom's name on it. And they actually cut the cake at their wedding with it. So making knives is nothing new to me, although I've never worked with Kydex before. So here's what I'm proposing. So how am I going to challenge myself? Well, because I'm somewhat familiar with making knives, having done the 3 I've previously done, I'm going to try and do it in under an hour, using mostly the tools that are in the Apocabox already. So there'll be no rushing out to buy McCarter handle scales or compacted wood scales or even pins to change the way it's connected. Apart from a little bit of sandpaper to take off the scale, I'm going to be making this knife using what's in the Apocabox and sharpening and maintaining with just what's in the Apocabox. And I'm going to do it in under an hour. So for the sake of transparency, you guys are going to go up slightly. I'm going to not be able to see what I'm looking at, so I'm going to twist the camera. I would do it if it would want to twist. But there's a clock. As you can see, it's just gone 11 o'clock. And by the time 12 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to try making a knife. So we're going to go into the kitchen, move you guys, and let's see if I can do this in under an hour. So I moved the camera, it took me a few minutes to get a good angle, but everything's got set up here in the kitchen. So we've got the maintenance mat down, we've got the blade and the various bits. And the only thing I've got that wasn't in the Apocabox is some 180 grit sandpaper, just to get the scale off. So I've got 55 minutes to try and do this. Hopefully you guys can be able to see all this. So first things, let's get this scale off. See how that scale's coming off the handle? Right, let's try the blade. Now I probably should tape up the blade, but it's relatively blunt and I'm in a rush. But if you're not in a rush, you tape up your blade end. Now I'm not going for a mirror finish because I've only got 180 grit paper, so I just want to get the worst of this off. As you can see, it's been, what, 3 minutes? It's coming off nicely. Although this little spot down here looks like it might be giving me some grief. be consistent in what stretcher I'm using. But, right, other side. So at least doing this, a good test of some of these products. You can see how the mat's getting scuffed up from the sandpaper. Bleh. You know what, when I get 12 mistakes t-shirts done, I'm going to have one that says bleh on it. I seem to do that somewhat frequently. I should also point out I haven't actually watched any of the instructions or read the instructions. There's written instructions and there's also a link to a video tutorial. And Creek Stewart, the guy who does these boxes, also did a couple of webinars as well about sharpening. So if you sign up to Apocabox, you do get a little bit of a community and some more knowledge. Now, there's another side. Again, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to take me a while to get into these deep crevices, but this is wet and dry paper, so I'm just going to get some water on it. But for transparency, you guys are staying turned on. Been 10 minutes so far, 1 glass full of water, and there we go, a bit more paper. The other side again, a bit of water. Also, in an ideal situation, you take your time doing this. It's supposed to be something you can do over a month. And there's nothing to say I can't come back to it at a later date. Right, so I'm just going to give that a quick rinse. There we go. Stretch across the camera, naughty naughty. Just dry it off quick. I forgot the edges. Yeah, just do the spine and all the way around. Forgot about that. Top, bottom, harder to get grip on the bottom. And your bottom and the other side of the handle. Right, so that's the worst of it off. So I can always come back to it at a later date, but just to have a check. Quick gander at a time. Cool. 15 minutes, right. Just a quick clean up. Done that in water again. Just wash it off. Or dry it off even. Right, so that's the worst of the scale off. You'll see it's still in sort of pitted areas like there, which I quite like. But there we go, that's the scale got off. Now for the really difficult bit. 45 minutes left. Now let's put the handle. Now, as I said, when I tested these two beach blanks together, one of them is larger than the other. Now, the smart thing to do would be to clamp those together and sand them until they're the same, but again, time constraint. So put one bolt through, the Chicago screw goes through. Second blank on top. Then we just screw them together like so. I'm going to need something that squeezes into there just to sharpen them a bit. Sharpen them a bit, what am I about? Tighten them a bit. Thumb tighten. That one's not sitting flush. Don't you understand screw? I want to time it. What's going on with that one? Nah, it's just a bit misaligned. There we go. Obviously, if I was using the Verisums, we could use epoxy at this point, or a liner of some description. And what have I got nearby that can tighten those screws? All we need is a bit of friction. Let's see. Nope, disagrees with that. I'm not going to use that. How about bottom of the fork? Yeah, just about turns. Now, Really need to shape this handle to be a lot more friendly. I'm not going to go for anything too extreme. I just want a basic bushcrafting knife, so I'm going to round off that edge if possible, just soften up everything else. But we'll be using the rasp that came with it. Now the underside is that edge I'm most concerned about that doesn't match up very nicely. So most abrasive one is that one, from what I can tell. Again, being careful with the blade, but it is blunt, although my hand looks like it's on it, it's not. Quick minute on that. How's that looking? It's getting there. I'm liking the grain that's appearing as well. Right, how's that? Feels a lot better. Right, start rounding off that bottom edge. You didn't notice that. Also, I have to really loosen that up something crazy. Maybe I should tighten it with something that isn't a fork. Right. That's coming on nicely. So we've got a bit of a nicer handle at the bottom there. I'm going to just do this edge and that edge slightly, go for a slightly softer version. Let's go for that. Obviously I'm not expecting to win any beauty prizes by the time this is done. So far it's been 21 minutes. And I've not even got round to the sharpening. Right. Oh, remember to keep it on camera. So that's got a nice curve to it. So for the other side. Something tells me it's going to be more challenging than I was expecting. It's been 25 minutes and I've not even got to the stuff I've never done before. Although, bear in mind I'm using a rasp that I've never used before. Alright, just to the rear side. Stick it down again. Look how loose those are now. Let's go for this one. Where's the softest one on this? There it is. The trouble with doing this in an hour is I'm starting to get tired now. My hand is starting to cramp up. You probably see bottom hands are now appearing on the cock as well. Definitely getting smoother. Let's try the bottom side again. Like, this is still going to look very, very square when I'm done with it. feet. Right. It's still pretty squared off, but it's actually, if my hand wasn't hurt from holding it, it's relatively comfortable. Right, soften some of these edges. I've only got half an hour to get it all finished. Right, you know what? I'm going to do what I said I should have done anyway. Take out these because they're loose as anything. Try and throw it on the floor. Right, I've literally got about 2 more minutes of doing this, or else I'm not going to actually be able to show you the rest of the tools. So I'm just going to run out of time, and that ain't good. Let's keep things in cameras, have we? Particularly need to do these ones, but I'm going to just soften them up a little bit. Right, there's the handles. That's it, nothing spectacular because I'm in a rush. Right, let's put these back on. I've got 25 minutes left. In that case, I'm going to turn the oven on. We'll try doing Kydex for the first time using an oven. Although we'll have to Google how long it's got to be in there for. Because like I say, I've never used it before. Screw it in very slowly because my hand is currently cramping like crazy. Right, so this blade. Oven's on. Right. I'm going to get something to tighten those blades up with. Right, now that is cheap and nasty. You can open it also from Apocabox at one point. Should probably just lay it down flat, but next one. Finger tighten. Right. How's that looking? It's not brilliant. I prefer it to mar up perfectly with the actual blade blank. But again, we're in a rush. I can always come back to it when I'm taking my time. Right then, sharpen it. I guess we need some kind of definitive test that it's relatively dull as it is. Definitive test that I can do without moving a few feet. Ah, perfect. So, got a plank of pine, move the spanking paddle, move the rasp. So, just on the flat, down near the bottom. It's got some bite to it, but that's basically from the shape. It's got a bit of something to it, but when it comes to actual sort of, I know wood's not the best thing to do this on, but yeah. So it's definitely got a pretty effective edge, but let's see if we can get it sharpened. So first thing I want to try out is this rock and roll sharpener. Now I've got my flat surface. So the idea is I stick it in there and do that kind of motion. Let's do it all over there. Oh, definitely a bit of biting down there. I can feel and hear that. The other side. Yeah, I think that's definitely the technique you're supposed to use. It off. So stick it right near the belly and then pull back. Just can't get it out afterwards. So again, can I push it? I can push it as well. Right. Losing track of what side of them now. Now, because it's something new, I wasn't actually keeping count. But you can see there's a small burr that's just caused. I don't know if you can see that. That's just with one of the tools. Let's see if that's any major improvement on the old wood test. It sounds more meaty. Got to eat that bit between the grains.
So yeah, it's not bad. Alright, let's try using the file, which is probably what I should have done first to begin with. Again, I've never actually used these tools before, so you have to give me some leeway rather than comment in the comment section. Oh, you crap. Is that the first time I've sworn on this? I think that's the first time I've sworn in Survival Mistakes history. So that's it with another attempt. That's just one of the things on there, of course. So some stuff. Right. Let's go with the carbide and the ceramic. Just going to do 2 pass-throughs with one. One way of making bizarre noises. Yeah, bites. And then the other one. So, there's that. Not the best edge in the world, but I've definitely seen worse. Try it on the completely not an actual test piece of wood test. Oh, blimey, it's not bad. I think the grain's a bit weaker on that side. Goes a lot easier. Whereas up here, I can probably pop chunks out quite easily. Right, onto the clock. 20 minutes. 20 minutes to strop and do something I've never done before. Right, best sort that one out quickly. Right, the problems are where it's until it's soft. I'll do it in 5-minute increments. Again, I've not researched this, so I don't really know how long it's going to take. Right, let's try some of this diamond paste. Now, I have used strops before, but not one of this design. Mine was a belt strop, although this isn't exactly much difficult now, is it? Different even. Not the best way to accomplish this, but it's not something I tend to do very often. I usually use, obviously, the work sharp, which I'm probably becoming a bit reliant upon recently. So, consistent angle, and pull it down the length of it. Consistent angle, pull it down the length of it. And consistent angle, pull it down the length. Give it a go on the other side, soft side. Again, not being scientific because I'm rushing. But yeah, it was I found the belt version much easier because I needed to apply attention to it, whereas this one is a bit more finicky. Bleh. Okay, I'm not sure I'm doing this properly, but you get the gist. Soaking water. Yes, it will rust it eventually, but not immediately. Just get the timing compound off. Yeah, forgot it's on my fingers, and it's also on the handle now. Alright, that Kydex has been in the oven for 2 minutes. Right, so there's my attempt at it using the tools that I'm provided. The other side. How's that going to work out? Just drop, piece of wood again. Again, I'm fighting it a bit because of me holding the wood. So that's it on the belly. Let's try it near the base. And possibly the tip. Require a bit more position of the hand. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done feather sticks. So 2 minutes till that's been in there 5 minutes. If you'll stick with me for 40 seconds. If you watched my video on the Stranger Things spiked baseball bat, you'll see me use this wood dye before. Now, have I got a cloth nearby that is not absorbent? Oh, I've got a piece of cotton. Old piece of cotton will do. Let's see. This is the only wood dye that I own. This is a Indian rosewood. Also, probably shouldn't be doing the finishing touch quite so soon. We'll just make it look a bit more appealing. Don't know why I put that mat down. I've barely done anything on the mat. It's all been up here in my hands, hasn't it? Right, that's the Kydex that's been in for 5 minutes. Let's assess what the Kydex is like. So, oven glove. Kydex is definitely warm to the touch. Don't know why I'm using an oven glove. Walk around the tripod. In fact, it's actually bent there. A bit too much heat's got to it already. So, push it in, realise it's quite warm. Try and ply the plates apart slightly. But no, that needs a bit more pressure on these edges just to open it up a bit. I'm ashamed about the warping. but I guess that's what I get for not reading instructions. So we'll give that another minute. Obviously it's winding up a bit. Right, we'll stick it for 2 minutes there. We'll get back to applying some stain to this. Using this old rag, which clearly isn't a sock. So cotton's not the best thing I should be using, to be fair. And I shouldn't be doing it on top of something covered in wood dust. But hopefully it'll give a bit of a rustic look. See the before and after on that wood stain already. Yeah, or just show you the other side. Right, quick glance at the clock. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to fit a piece of Kydex that I've never done before, and I only have the barest of knowledge about how to do it. But hopefully, over the past 45 minutes, you guys have got a better idea of some of the quality of some of these tools that have been in this Apocabox. It gives you an idea, obviously, if you were taking your time over the month, the sort of blade you could come up with. Let's say the subscribers have a Facebook group called the Apocabox Bunker, and some of the things that the guys on there do are absolutely amazing. So they usually post their own versions on the skill challenges every month, and they also try and keep it secret until into the next month as well, which is quite nice. I tend to ruin it for myself by going and having a look, but I like to know what I'm getting. There's Kydex again. Give the oven a second while I just do that bit. Stain the front. Also got some on the blade there, but it shouldn't make much difference. Alright, let's get that Kydex out. Kydex is again quite warm. Kydex is very warm. Pressing down, try and open it up. Let's just bend it slightly. I just want to get enough clearance to get the handle in. That's cooled down again. You see it's definitely shape changing. I just need a little bit more clearance for that handle. So we'll give it a minute this time. So 60 seconds for the Kydex. I've got less than 10 minutes on the rest of the blade. So we're on to essentially the second coat of this stain. In fact, should we zoom you guys in? There you can see what's going on, can't you? This is going to beep at me again in a second. How about we just apply directly on there for a second. Spill some on the mat. Bad timing, Kydex, bad timing. Careful of the blade now, because it is sharpened. Right, let's try the Kydex again. I'm really standing on the microphone. Where's the other gloves gone? Gloves on this side of the tripod. Right, do this quick. Let it not cool down. Let it not cool down. Don't let it cool down even. Right, so I'm going to grab it near the top. Push the blade in. Apply some downwards pressure. One out. Okay, I've got that to go in. God, nearly. Look how close that is. I don't want to force it. Right. 30 seconds this time. Because that's coming on quite nicely. Clock says 6 minutes to. Quick coat of the stain on any bits that are not looking aged. Got all that stain in there. That's easier than I was expecting. Right, so there's my knife, some stain on the blade itself there and there. A quick wipe. 5 minutes. 5 minutes remaining. Back to the oven. Back to the Kydex. Rag around top of the Kydex. Apply pressure. Applying pressure not done anything this time. I just got to probably need to start remembering which side it's wanting to go in. Right. Let's do a dangerous thing, sticking this in the oven. Two minutes in the oven. Not much more I can do. This is it. This is going to be the make or break moment. 4 minutes on the clock. Gives me enough time to quickly tidy. Where did I put that? There it is. Camouflaged. So there's the paste. The strop, complete with the rasp. Stick them in the Apocabox field tool maintenance kit. Get them out of the way. We used a handy field sharpener. We've had Abraham Lincoln looking over us, who, at the very meaning of his patch, is probably criticising what we're doing here. Sticking the lid on there. Rock and roll field sharpener goes in there. We've got our test piece of wood, and we've got out of the maintenance mat hold up. Yeah, not bad. We've got a bit of stain from the wood stain. In fact, we'll just give it a quick drip of water on top. Kydex is 1 minute. So, here we go. What's the time say? Well, let's hope this is the last time I need to go in the oven. Right. Blades come out. Wrap a rag around top. Apply the pressure. Apply more pressure. I feel like I'm trying to put this in the wrong way, to be fair. No, that makes sense. So, all I want to do is just clear the handle. So I've got enough time to do this for 1 more minute. One more solitary attempt. So 2 more minutes. Just to recap what was in this December 2017 Apocabox, we had double-sided leather strop, which I've covered in diamond paste and juggling bean coiling spanking panel. We had 4-stage rasp, and you saw what it did to the wood of those beach handle planks. We had 16th President of the United States, which Abraham Lincoln. That's Rick and Morty, isn't it? Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe, not spending an hour trying to make a bushcrafting blade. We had a field sharpener with ceramic, carbide and diamond rod. We got the aforementioned diamond paste and the rock and roll field sharpener and the field tool maintenance kit, which I've already spilt wood dye onto, which ain't coming off anytime soon. So the clock is saying I've got literally about 30 seconds. It's my last attempt. I haven't got any more attempts in me. I haven't got time for this self-imposed challenge. So Kydex has come out. Applied pressure, because I want to get that handle in, but the Kydex says no. So as the clock ticks into the next hour, I'm going to have to zoom out, throw all that stuff aside, turn off the oven, knee the camera and go. So there we go. That's what I managed to achieve in an hour in my little Apocabox self-imposed challenge. Now it's a lot more comfortable to hold now that I've rounded off those edges. And just using the tools provided in the Apocabox, that's the edge I managed to get on it. See if the light picks it up or the camera picks it up. And there's the other side. So obviously the main thing that failed me on this was the Kydex sheath. And that's my fault for not researching it, but like I say, it was a self-imposed challenge. If you want to see how that Kydex sheath comes out when I've got a bit more time, feel free to check out the Twitter feed or the Facebook group. Survive Mistakes of the group on Facebook and at Zoe Survival on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking the video. And if you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel. I do about 1 video a month at the minute, and that's the schedule I'm trying to keep. So, as ever, there's only one thing for me left to say. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and do the impossible every day.
Party on, dude!